Greetings from all of us here at Grace Evangelistic Ministries. We want to bring you a word of encouragement in a time such as this. We live in a time when the devil is throwing everything he can at us as God's children. And we need not to allow him to knock us out of our, what I would call a command post. As a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, wherever you are is where God has put you. God, when he brought you into his family, he has a plan marked out for you, specifically for you as a child of God. You're not here by an accident. Accident does not exist in God's program. I just want you to know that. God is in charge. He's in control. Your circumstances are not in control. Always have that in mind. I don't care what that circumstance may be. It is not in control. God, the Almighty, is in control of your life and circumstances. He is in charge. He has a program, and he's running out his program, his way, not your way. He said it so clearly in Isaiah. He said, my ways are not your ways. Neither my thoughts are your thoughts. So don't think that the way you think is how God thinks, or the way you do things is how God does things. God does things perfectly from a different vantage point because he's God. He has all the facts. He knows inside out of every believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. And David knew this when he wrote one of the powerful chapters of Psalms in Psalm 139. In verse 116, David wrote something that I want to take your attention to. In Psalm 139, David said it so well in his listening. He said, verse 16, your eyes have seen my unformed substance. And in your book, we are all written the days that we are ordained for me, when as yet there was not one of them. Did you see it? Did you hear what David just said? He said, your eyes have seen my unformed substance. What does David mean by that? In other words, God saw David before David was even conceived. Wow. Seeing a person before he becomes a person. God saw the bent, the straight, every intricate part of David, God saw in eternity past. And the same thing with Jeremiah. Jeremiah could complain to God, God, I am too small, I am this, I'm weak, and all kinds of complaints. God said, Jeremiah, take a seat. Take a seat right there. Listen to me, let me talk to you. Jeremiah, before you were formed in the womb, do you know that I knew you? I'm not just finding out who you are now. I knew your stature before you were formed. I knew everything, your weaknesses. All those things were known to me in eternity past before you were formed in the womb and before I called you to represent me. So don't give me any excuse or any excuses. I knew all those things. So David can say that everything, all the failures, all the successes, everything concerning me were written in your book. And so all-wise God has everything about you in his book. He knows all the potholes on the way. He knows all the things that you will go through as a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. And he knows the result of every one of them, the same way he knew the result of Job's suffering. He was not shocked. Each step of the way he knew, and he knew the result. And that is God. And so whatever God allows in your life, he already knows the result. And that result, as long as you as a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ is on course spiritually, God knows how he can blend every circumstance in your life and come up with perfect result, reflecting his character as the God of the universe, as a loving God. So when he said in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plan that I have for you, you can be sure he knows. And that plan is not a plan of calamity. The devil may want to preach to you that you have calamity on your way. Remind the devil, one, he's a liar. Remind him that God's plan for my life doesn't end in calamity, but in hope and a future that should give you comfort, that should give you peace. You can go about your daily business no matter what. what God has begun in your life, that same God, powerful God, will bring it to completion. And so don't let the devil deceive you. And don't fret, for he is with you and will be with you to the end. Until next time, may God richly bless you, my beloved.